Assalamu alaikum.
This is now it's
Assalamu alaikum. Peace is Nyla, Coach Nyla.
So, like in peace, it's Fatima, Coach Fatima, and we're
co-wives and co-founders of OutstandingRelationships.com. If you guys don't know, if this is your first time seeing us, if this is your first time on our live, so make sure you guys, we're gonna give you guys some time, give other people some time to chime in and come in and everything like that. But while we're doing that, and I'm actually gonna do some sharing, and we're asking you guys to share, because sharing is caring. So make sure that you guys are sharing on your social media, and if you're on YouTube, make sure you guys let us know where you coming in from, where are you chiming in from. Let us know if you guys have some questions. We're going to talk about
send them to us.
Love. We're still in the month of love, guys. This is our theme for the month is love. So if you guys were with us last week, we talked about vulnerability and all that other good stuff. It was huge. Good. So if you guys haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. Not right now though. Gotta watch this one. So,
stay with us, y'all.
So we're gonna do that. Let us know what you guys, where you guys are calling in from.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff on IG. I see some people there.
Some people. Hey guys. Hey, guys, a little far away, so we kind of can't. I can't even see. I'm kind of blind. I can't see that far away. But we see you, IG. We see you, YouTube. We see you, Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So today.
Yeah, we're going to talk
about
cultivating and prioritizing and expanding love.
Yeah.
In marriage, and especially in polygyny. Yes.
Yeah, because, no shade, but I think a lot of times people think that men can't expand love, and they can. They just don't do it like women do.
Exactly. Right.
And then we sometimes have an issue with that. So we're going to get into that a little bit deeper. Of course, again, send your questions, comments to Facebook, IG, comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We're going to give some people some more time to get in, waving at IG. We see you. We see YouTube. Did it disappear?
Yeah, there it is. Now I'm like, what is going on? Yeah.
What else I want to talk about? How does that look for us practicing? Those of us that do practice polygyny, the healthy way.
Yes.
The healthy way.
The healthy way.
Yeah. Where everybody matters.
Response. I'm trying to. Okay. This for some reason this which is so crazy, because today a lot of the computer didn't want to work right today.
Yeah. We're having some.
The phone wasn't trying to work. I don't know what's going on with the doggone electronics today. But they the devil. No.
Shit done now. You don't go live today.
Right. It's a mess.
See some people on IG with some questions too.
For some reason, it's not taking me to these things. You did? Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying for some reason. I know why it's doing that. Never mind.
And then thank y'all for showing up early with us. We just had our family meeting. It was very nice.
Yes.
As always. There was the Malcolm X documentary about who could have possibly assassinated him. So it's very powerful. We suggest that you all watch it, please. It's heartbreaking, but very educational at the same time, and very enlightening. So please watch that with your families. And we're just trying to share with groups right now so that, we want to make sure everybody's able to chime into our video, our live today.
I'm gonna have to just, because I don't know why it's not coming up. So whatever, we're gonna start, because I don't know why the other groups aren't coming up for some reason. So yeah,
we're gonna go ahead and start, y'all.
We're gonna start, guys, because I'm just gonna have to share the replay.
Yes.
Sorry about that, guys. I share the replay. So yes, cultivating. and prioritizing, cultivating, prioritizing, and expanding love. What does that look like? And marriage and polygyny. Here's the thing. We've talked when we usually explain like the expansion of love.
Yeah.
We talk about the children and the parental role, the parental thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it don't sit well with people.
Right.
They're like, how can you, it's not the same. It's not the same. All right, well, no, it's not the same.
Yeah, we know
whatever. But there are similarities that makes it. We're all people.
Mm-hmm.
Our children are people. And guys, keep an eye out. If you guys haven't, make sure you are subscribing, that you are subscribed to our email list, because we post blogs every week. And that's at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. And this week's blog post is going to talk about that, about the cultivating and expanding love. And when it comes to the similarities, when it comes to doing that, expanding it with children, and being actually doing that with your spouse, or when you're practicing polygyny and all that other good stuff. Because when it comes down to it, the basics are similar.
Yeah, they are.
Where it comes from, when it comes to wanting to feel wanted, wanting to feel loved, wanting to feel appreciated, all that, and needed, right? It's there. So whether it's a parent to a child, when it comes to polygyny, when a husband decides that he wants to marry again, not get divorced, but marry another wife, then what does that look like? Or when sometimes we don't understand, we as women don't understand, because they think, or we think, and what I'm going to say, because I'm gonna be real. I don't think that, but there's so many people that do. So I'm like, because I know that, I try to put myself in other people's position, other people's shoes. So that's why you're going to hear me at times say we, and I put myself up in that position because I try to understand it. But I don't think that the love is lost when someone else comes along. I think that if love was lost in any type of way, it's because of whatever happened in that situation, not because somebody else came along.
Yeah.
That's why we talk about the expansion of love. And that's why even when it comes to the children part, we talk about the kids aren't, do you love her more than me when a new baby come along? I haven't heard. Maybe it's some families that happens. Yeah. But if that's the case, how do you cultivate that? How do you cultivate this love where they're confident enough to know that you're the confidence to know that your love is not going anywhere?
Yeah, I think you have to have a conversation. You have to be honest. So that's a good analogy as far as when you bring another child into your home. I always, would say our family, our baby, to the younger child that doesn't understand. They need a conversation to happen.
Right.
Either way, they need a balance. Either way, they got to know that they're important just as much as the baby is important, and they're not at a loss. So that fear of loss that people get, you have to give somebody. It's best to give someone reassurance.
Yep, that's it.
It's like you need to be reassured, and sometimes you have to say, because I know, for me personally, my grandmother, I was like, ooh, she was like, I'm going to talk to him and I don't need you there. I'm like, wow. Whoa. I didn't just do that. But I was like, that was powerful. And she asked about intention. What are the intentions now? Because now this has changed. This isn't what I thought it was going to be. Are you going anywhere? Are you a conversation? A hard one had to be had. And she asked some scary questions that I wasn't ready for her to ask.
Now, is this when are you talking about?
This is after.
When polygyny came along? Okay.
Oh, so she didn't care for, the marriage when it started. My own marriage. She was like, psh. All the women that age are like, I don't know. they kind of do. But I know she came from a place of her mother not wanting her to get married so young. So when she saw me do the same thing, she was like, I don't know, I better be careful. You know, it was like this negative thing. And she had been hurt a lot. So I had to consider that her situation was extremely hurtful. So she threw that on me because she didn't want me to go through it. So she saw it as me going through what she went through. And it wasn't that.
Right.
Because my grandfather was a notorious cheater. Notorious.
And that's that part of that cultivating.
She threw her hurt on me. Yeah.
That's that part. It's like in that marriage, whether it was polygyny or not, which it wasn't.
No.
Well, you know, it wasn't polygyny.
It was Granny Pooh.
Where it came to the point where that love, that part, that stuff wasn't cultivated.
No,
you know, that trust.
They didn't know how.
That
they just didn't even have the tools. And I think now we have so many different tools that maybe our grandparents didn't have, our mothers didn't have, that we can, you know, sometimes oftentimes you have to help yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm glad you said that, because when it comes down to it, we're seeking the stuff.
Yeah, I want to feel better.
We're seeking the
I wanted to feel better.
So even if, and the thing is, it's still not a lot of information and stuff out there. You know, that's why we are doing what we are doing outside of personal relationships, because we know that it's a lack of information, it's a lack of resources,
we lack
of stuff. Yes, right. So
we were like,
that's that part.
Nobody showed up.
The thing is, we're constantly in the personal development room. We're
every
constantly
day
trying to better the situation. In order to do that, in order to cultivate this love and this fulfillment and everything like that, you have to go into a place of saying, what do I want?
You got to be clear.
What do I want the outcome to be, and all that other good stuff. And then you continue, you try to work on that part.
Yes. I agree. And I think sometimes when we're cultivating love, if it doesn't look like we want it to look like, if the compromise is in what we want, or it's not fair in our mind, that doesn't mean it's unfair though either. You know what I mean? Just because for us, because my fair and yours might be two different things. Yeah. You know, that's important to create boundaries and focus on what works. Yeah. Not on what doesn't work. Because we already know what's not working. We kind of know.
Because the negative constantly looking at the negative. How are you bringing positivity into anything that you have if you're constantly looking at the negative? I'm not saying don't look at the things for what it is. Because if there's some issues and challenges that need to be addressed, then see those out, address them, and work on them so you can move forward. That's that cultivating part. And then let's talk about the prioritizing thing. Okay. Scenario. When it comes to, I wouldn't say that love is lost if our husband has to spend more time at the other house, or with Coach Fatimah, or anything like that. If these are certain things that are needed, because when it comes down to it, we are one big family. When it comes down to it, certain things, the trust is there that things are going to be just. When it comes down to it, we're going to look at things as saying that, you know what, I want for my sister what I want for myself. You make sure it's balanced between all three of us. All three of us want that. It's not that our husband wants it balanced and we go wait for him to balance it out. So if certain things are needed, whether it's, you know, someone is sick, whether it's someone is hurting, whether it's something, you know, some business needs to be taken care of, then the priority lies with that thing. It's, you know, I think it's so many times people want to play scorekeeper, I guess I want to say what it is. You got to get rid of these scoreboards. If that's what it is, where it's not. It's so many things that are in the unknown that it's very difficult to keep score. So why stress yourself out doing that type of thing
Don't sign up for that class.
Right. Why stress yourself out doing another thing instead of just cultivating what you can cultivate and prioritize what you can prioritize? And that's, fulfilling, creating a fulfilling marriage, a fulfilling relationship within, your union.
Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes when people kind of think that ultimatum is part of cultivating a marriage, and it isn't. That word ultimatum means by definition a final demand resulting in retaliation or a breakdown in a relationship.
What was it?
So a breakdown in it's this. Now I get if people believe, because I'm a firm believer in, people say, oh, love unconditionally. We talked about toxic love. My love has conditions because the way I want to be loved is, if somebody thinks, and this is being extreme, but some people will hit somebody and say, oh, I love you, when they're done doing that.
Oh,
my love has conditions. Don't touch
you, right?
me. Right. Don't hit me. Don't put hands on me. But there are some cases, oftentimes, where there is actual infidelity. And you can't go, or you shouldn't go, well, but I love you. It's like, okay, there has to be some type of boundary set within the relationship so that we can cultivate it. What are your boundaries? We need to have those conversations. Our boundaries, we don't play with polygyny. We don't play in it. We don't play games with it. Just like Coach Nyla was saying, if someone needs our husband more salt, we get it. Like, I get that. It could be the kids. It could be one of us. It could be, we've had our relatives pass away, and the funeral lands on a day where our husband is supposed to be at the other house. Well, he's needed at a janazah. He's needed at a funeral. Then that's where he needs to be. It's a prioritizing of values, within our polygynous family.
Because I know people would ask that, like, well, what if this, or do you feel this certain way if he may have, and that's the whole thing when I talk about this, the scorekeeping. It's so much other stuff to do in your life.
And I don't want to be known as a jealous scorekeeper. I want to say, how can we all make this easy on everybody?
No, don't get me wrong. If there's certain things that it may seem that is, the scale is tipping. Yeah. So now those are things that you can discuss. Yeah. It may not always be what you think it is. Because it's usually appearances. Yeah, it's appearances. It's so not saying that, okay, well, it's not about just letting things just float on by and just be all over the place. Yeah. No, if it's certain things that you're feeling or that's being felt that could be, unbalanced, that's where the communication comes in, and communication comes in with cultivating that trust, cultivating that honesty, cultivating, that part of where you say, what, I can express my feelings freely, and it can be heard, but don't always think that it is what you think. And if it don't come out the way, the outcome, if you don't get the outcome that you want, you can do whatever you want. However, when it comes down to it, it's about saying, is it really that important? That's the priority part. At the end of the day, is it really that important?
And it might be, and it might not be, but best practice is to get clarity. If you don't know, ask. Yeah. Just ask. It's good to have these relationships where co-wives can ask each other things without fear of retaliation, or they can ask their husband things without fear of pettiness, or whatever the case may be, or whatever you want to call it. We've kind of, we haven't verbally done this, but it's just, I don't know if it's at our age, but with our maturity, we're able to go, okay, what are we doing? Yeah. I'm confused. We'll say that all the time. If we're confused, if we don't know, we admit that. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Easily confused.
I don't know. I forgot. That's my jam every time I open my mouth. What? I forgot. I'll ask Coach Nyla about what is today? What are we doing? Whose turn is for what? All the time. And we don't feel a way about it. if one has to correct the other, because what we're doing, extracting the bad ego.
Right.
We just are.
Right.
We've been doing this for years. We're going, okay,
Yeah.
let's extract our bad or negative ego and say, if you don't have clarity on something, like if I need clarity on something Nyla said, did, or posted or whatever, I'm gonna ask her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask Coach Nazir because he can probably guess, but best practice would be ask her. She's gonna give me the best answer.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like and it's. Oh, excuse me.
I ain't hear
Felt like
nothing.
some doggone bird coming out, but it did anyway. So, but that's another thing too with even cultivating love between co-wives. Oh my gosh, let's talk about this because okay, do you have to? No.
Nope. Because we didn't.
You know, whatever. So it's like you don't have to. But the thing is, we constantly talk about best practice, and because of feelings and the part of sometimes really not understanding the expansion of love and the things like that. Sometimes you put labels on certain things, and these labels become these barriers that can cause some issues. Like okay, like co-wives. That label sometimes do not sit well with a lot of people because it's like
told us.
Because it's like, okay, well, you know, this is the same, the person that's married to the person I'm married, and then it's these thoughts that just start rendering in your head of, you know, does he spend more time? Does he love her more? Does when they together, do they do this? That is not cultivating or prioritizing your marriage because you're too busy thinking about something that is probably not even something to even be thought about.
And it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have anything to do with your marriage.
It don't serve you at all.
It's something that happens. Like we've seen sisters kind of get on Facebook and dig into each other's business, and then they'll find something and it'll hurt them. And we've both had people personally talk to us or call us or DM us and say these things. And I'm like, well, you did that to you though. And then you get mad at your co-wife because you saw a vacation picture that you dug up.
Right. And the thing is, this is how I look at it.
And
this is how I look at things. I look at that when it comes down to
no, stuff like this that he belongs to the Lord, but
our property. When it comes down to it, it's when that mindset, when they're doing something together, not that I'm searching for it and looking for it or anything like that.
We really don't do
that. But my thing is, okay, I know when their anniversary is. If you don't know when it is what it is. I know when their anniversary is. In my mind, I already got stuff planned. Like, okay, I did something gifts last week. We talk about, isn't that whatever. Yes, I know it's silver. I know exactly
she knew it
what
and I didn't.
25-year anniversary is. Because
you knew it and I didn't know it.
So it's certain things. But my mentality is not on, we made it to the same. Where they going to go? Because if wherever they go, I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy each other. If they go anywhere, if they do whatever, I want them to
go to the tea house and call it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is whatever. And my whole thing is like I hope that they enjoy every moment of it because.
And I do too. I don't care if it's a birthday. I don't care I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's just go out. We went out to eat, all three of us.
Yeah. Yes.
Tired as I don't know what.
The funny thing is I was just thinking about that because people can say, well, it all sound all fun and games, and they say, no, we weren't always like this. Okay, well, my thing is I actually, like I said, I'll keep on putting it out there. I actually was.
She been on it. She been on it.
But
wipe me down.
But no, when it comes down to it, is that just the way and Coach Fatimah said it before. She was like, we were just raised different. So it's certain things when we think about how when you think about certain environments and certain things that do shape how you look at stuff. You know, whatever. So my thing is, no, not my mom wasn't in polygyny or anything like that. My mom was a single parent for the majority of my life. So, or the majority of my childhood. So it wasn't nobody there like that when it came to, just seeing how relationships should be or whatever. So it kind of, my slate was kind of blank for the most part.
It was different.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, I've seen the ups and downs throughout my families and everything like that. And I saw the cultivating of horrible relationships. Not totally when it came to my mom. I mean, it was not all peaches and cream. Like I said, she raised like the 4 of her 9 children by herself before she got married. It was these different principles that she came with us, but a lot of things were, be nice to people, be kind.
Just
general stuff. Be kind, and I got that want for others that you want for yourself before Islam. Like I got that growing up. Yeah. So that was a thing for me. So
you can tell that being around your family. When we were with her for her birthday in July, they were all there. They're just all very peaceful, very calm, very. And I always make this joke. My grandmother is Tupac, and she says whatever. She has dementia now, and I really feel like right now I'm able to practice polygyny without her judgment about it.
And that's a big deal.
She said, you either going to go or you're going to stay.
We still feel that. Real. Even though we're adults and we're living our own lives,
we still got parents.
We still got parents. we still got people that we do, their opinion do matter sometimes. Like we can feel it. Yeah. This ain't something that we just be like, oh, well, forget it, throw it away. Some people are good at doing that. But see, Coach Fatimah and I, we got the F in our personality type. I'm an INFJ.
I'm an ENFP.
So it's
no.
See,
we clown. We have fun here.
But when it comes down to it, these are the different things where when we got together, when we started actually talking and cultivating a relationship, this was something that we wanted to do together.
Yeah.
When it happened to the point when she wanted to do it too, it snowballed. It went boom.
Like nothing happened years and years before.
And that's the thing. And we don't go and be like, well, remember this time? Never.
No. You know why we don't? Because we both understand why it was the way it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just ultra obvious.
We're human. We have feelings. We have emotions. We have stuff. So when it comes down to it, but we cultivated, this relationship, and we continue to build.
Yeah. Outside of Coach Nazir, if I could tell anybody, the women especially, if you can get in there and have a conversation that doesn't revolve around your husband, I think that's so healthy. And you'll learn so much about each other if you allow yourself to do that.
Yeah.
So what I went blank, y'all.
I did too, because I was just like, some people, I was like, oh, all the energy.
Our thoughts are up there.
No, that's that part. So yeah, if you want the relationship, and you both want it. But that's the thing, like we're talking about co-wives now. Is it mandatory?
I don't want to leave them. I don't think either one of us want to leave them with this. They see enough negativity and polygyny in this community. They see it in the world. They don't need any more. We don't need to add to it. I don't want to be the person that adds to that anymore. And even when I wasn't talking, I just wasn't talking. I didn't talk about polygyny. I didn't talk about Coach Nyla. I just didn't talk. So it was like a thing that didn't happen to me. So it was something that our husband was doing, and that had nothing to do with me. That's how I looked at it. But I was like, my children, I don't want my sons, we don't want our babies, our bonus babies growing up with this negative. I want them to grow up and say, our family was healthy. Our family did it right. We got one time to do this.
Yeah,
we don't have multiple times to do this.
That example,
role
positive
models.
example. There was role models that when whether they decide to practice polygyny or not.
Oh, my oldest son. I said, boy, he wants 4 wives. Clean your room up. Let's get on that first.
When it comes
Don't no
down
woman want no man that can't clean his hands.
Hey, I'm just saying. When it comes down to that part, is just I think that's that's the part whether they practice it or not, that they know how to cultivate healthy, fulfilling relationships.
We gave them a
all
template.
around the board. Yeah, I think
We gave
so.
a template.
I think so. And they also know that there's ups and downs, and there's times where there's some failures and successes, and there's some, sometimes we're bumbling our way through this thing called life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and bumbling our way through this thing called marriage. But the thing is, if you are intentional with wanting these
they see the good
positive
intentions.
things, then you are going to seek out how to make it the way you want it to be. Yeah. Simple as that.
And you're seeking it out, make it the way you want it to be without hurting other people.
Right.
See, when you might go, well, I want him to get rid of her. Yeah, but that's hurting somebody else. And I remember I was talking to,
and that might end up hurting you in the long run.
Yeah, it'll come back around.
It'll backfire.
Yeah. It'll come back around. Whatever somebody is doing that has negative intention, it's gonna come back around. And it will come back around in ways you never thought it would. That's the thing. It'll come back around. You go, I don't know what happened.
Right.
You tried it. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. We're going to take some questions. One thing, though, a couple things I hope you guys can take away from it, when it comes to cultivating, relationships. So what do you want to see down the line? What do you want to see 10 years from now? Like, this positive thing, and work towards that part, kind of like reverse engineer it type of thing.
Because you got to work.
Yeah, it's work. And the thing is, it's work. But work don't always have to be strenuous, arduous, or something.
Rigid.
Or rigid, or something that is, or arduous, whatever the word I said, totally wrong word. But, or it don't have to be anything that is like a stressful headache. But work is still, it takes work. It takes a thought process. It takes a plan. It takes moving forward on that plan. And it takes everybody who's involved, including everyone who's involved.
Yes, it does. Because you can't have the 2 women or the 3 of the 4 women working, and then the husband isn't. Or you can't have the husband doing everything and the wives aren't doing anything. It is, I'm telling you from experience. We both are telling you from experience, from a place of like humility, and we're both very humble about where we came from in this journey. You're gonna work.
Yeah.
You're gonna work, but then you get the reward.
Yeah.
You'll have this inner peace that will come over you, and you'll know full well that it came from the work that you put in to getting very close and in touch with personal development. You just have to. Yeah. That's the best practices. Again, you don't have to do anything, but this is what worked for us. This is what we did.
Right. Right.
And
I like the shared experience. I was watching like Women of Impact, and they made a comment about shared experiences. And I said, you know what? I actually like that, because sometimes, as introverted as I can be, when it comes to people that I love, I want to share my experiences, whether it's good or bad. Because if I had like a bad day, I want to be able to know that I could come to someone in my family, or to come to my family, and I'm going to be able to feel better. I can trust them with my heart, trust them with these things, and it's going to be a lot better because I have this family, this
like
beautiful
support.
thing, the support system. That's what I was looking for. And then, the good things, the good times, you guys tell me that if, you have a beautiful day or a great day or something like that, or these wonderful things that have happened to you, and you don't have anybody to share that with, how does that actually feel? That's not a great feeling.
Men sitting in mansions right now with no family and nobody to share with, and they're upset about that.
Yeah, they're upset about it. Like you said, they're upset about it. So the thing is, but it's like, did you cultivate that? And like either way, did you cultivate that loneliness?
Yep.
What is her name? Shailene Johnson. She's a fitness instructor. She was talking about when she used to be a workaholic. Like she would work like 90 hours a week.
Oof.
Working. She wasn't cultivating this fulfilling, and she realized that after a while, but her marriage was failing, but not in the point of like divorce. It was failing in a point where her husband checked out and started to gamble.
Oof.
So she had an addiction to working. He had an addiction to gambling. She bringing money in. He pulling money out. And had a conversation, and he told her, "You know what? I'll go to therapy, but you got to go too. You got to go too." And then she like, "What me?
Be your own husband.
When do I need to go? You know, I'm working. I'm doing this. Ain't nothing wrong with me."
Part of the problem.
Yeah.
Part of the problem.
So she went though and realized that, oh my gosh, it's me.
Yeah.
I actually am one of the problems in this relationship because I totally put my head in the sand. I checked out. I did not. I cultivated this mess.
Yep.
You know, at least I had a hand in it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I had a hand in it. And she's like, I can control me. So my thing is, okay, I know what I want. So, and I want this type of thing. So they actually made something which I thought was so beautiful. It was called a priority statement or type of thing.
Yeah.
And the thing was like, what's most important and how are we going to work to achieve these things that's important.
I like that.
So she was working, like I said, 90 hours a week. Now I got to the point where she said,
I can't even imagine it.
a few hours a day. This is what I'm working because I almost lost my family because I was my head in the sand doing this thing. I prioritized this business or this work or this whatever, this money. Money. She said, you could take all stuff away from me. I can get this money back. I can get it back. But my family, that time with them, I can't get that back.
You can't.
So you got to figure out that. I think that's a great thing to do. So I'm putting that challenge out there. You guys want something to do a priority statement, you know, and work together within your family, within your loved ones, within your spouse, to say, you know what, these are the things, and not just everything that you guys are doing it together. You do one separate. They do one, or you do one, or whatever separate, and then you guys come together and you guys do a priority statement together, and then start moving forward on that. Because see, they talk about children spell love time. We all do. We all do. We want people to understand us. We want people to spend their time. If you sharing your time with me. That is a big deal because it's like you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? That means that this is time that you're taking out of your life to spend with me. Like there's time that if I'm taking my time out of my life to spend with you, that should actually be, I am going to be like, heck yeah. You know what I'm saying? You like appreciate the time that you guys are spending watching this. You guys are taking the time out of your life, out of your day to empower yourself and chill with us. Right? So, you know, we appreciate that.
We do.
We really do. But do that priority statement and watch how drastic your life will change because you are intentional about the things that you do.
It'll start changing. We really have to invest in feeling better and invest in our growth and our self-care and inner peace. Like I've seen people say, I want peace, but you're doing everything to create chaos. Do you really want peace? You know, so we have to be honest about when we say these things, do we really mean them though? Yeah. And what role are we playing in it? Yeah. Are we doing the things that we need to do? Because we can only control us. Yeah. We can only control what we do. So you can't make nobody else. You can't make nobody else. So, you know, what part are you playing? What role are you playing? Yeah. So absolutely. Let's take some questions. Do we have some questions on IG? I can't see that far, y'all. Right. And remember to post your questions, comment, like, subscribe. Where are you all chiming in from? Where are you at? Where are you from? Salams to you all. Salam to you all that gave us salams. There he is. Boom.
From a male perspective, real quick. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace. Coach Nazir. Still dealing with a little throat issue. So
he's been here the whole time. Behind the scenes.
In the background.
With that being said, when it comes to cultivating relationships, of course, coming from a male perspective, when we talk about patience does take work. So, bro, speaking to the brothers, like you're listening to the sisters today and speaking, right? However, they're speaking in the present today. So we're not talking about the past several years of building growth. So when they say I was investing in personal development, I was doing this and decided to open things up, and like, you know, Coach Fatimah said, well, you don't have to be, we had to be friends. We weren't friends. It wasn't that they didn't want to be friends. It wasn't like both of them were saying, we don't need to be friends.
It's how.
And they were just off. No.
Yeah.
She, you know, still working and stuff like that to get to a point where it was fine. So somebody can extend the olive branch to you all day. You can just cut it, chop it, leave it, flip it, whatever.
Mine had a whole chainsaw.
And it's not working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's a process of patience, but constantly working toward that. So I don't want people to get the mistaken understanding that it's just something that's really easy. Well, for you, it might be a month or a year, and like 2 years in, like, oh my God, there's still some drama and this and that. It took us several years. All right, to just get to that point. So I needed to address that because it's very, very important. And your leadership can't waver. You still have to have a vision for your family that they talked about moving forward. You don't have to force anything, but here's the other part. Everything is going to be great. Here's my vision. And then you, okay. Unless you did on some airheads or something. You know what I'm saying? And who wants to marry an airhead? You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But with that being said, you know, so you're going to deal with some drama. You're going to deal with stress. You're going to deal with emotion and stuff like that. First, foremost, dealing with your own. But you still have to recognize you will have to be uncomfortable. All right. You will have to deal with stuff. Your leadership will be challenged and stretched, and that'll make you a better individual. Think about it. Do you ever want to get on an airplane with the pilot who's never been through turbulence? And then during that flight, you hit some turbulence, and that pilot loses their mind because they've never been through it. You want to be guided through it. You want to make sure you're with somebody that has that experience and grow. So it will help grow you. All right. So prayerfully, you got some good stuff. Now, again, if you haven't let us know where you're chiming in from, let us know. We like that. We're monitoring for questions, stuff like that. And also the email, our email account, support@outstandingpersonalrelationships.com, where some questions have been asked anonymously, and we will address them.
Shout out to the Chocolate City and DC. We see you in there.
Sakina out there doing it. Aisha,
alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
He will about to get to. Gave us the whole thing.
Oh.
All right. So there's a question to the sisters.
All right.
Sisters. Can you read that? My voice is my water's over there.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Thank you so much for all that you give to the community of families in polygamy. May Allah bless you and your family, longevity and prosperity. Okay, getting right to it. My husband has 3 other wives and the 4th. I constantly get bacterial vaginosis. I am so tired of taking medication to cure myself, but I was told by my gynecologist that this happens when there are multiple sexual partners. What are your views or experiences that you may hear from other women regarding this issue? I've tried searching for information online, but it seems Muslims don't discuss this. Please help. Any info?
That's a new one on Fatimah. That's a new one on me. But I've heard that you can get that and it just be between you and your husband though too. Yeah, I heard that so too. Don't just think it's because of these different things. Polygyny. I've heard that too. You can.
I've heard it's more common than yeast infection.
Yeah,
I mean, women.
Yes, and you know this because Coach Nyla does coach natural, women's health and wellness. So she knows probably more so than I. That it's not something that's completely uncommon and unheard of. And a lot of times I find personally that doctors will scare the heck out of you if you let them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's a lot of, what is that called? What is it called? Yoni? Is it yoni?
Oh, yeah.
The yoni pots and eggs. And there's different things that can be done.
Yeah.
That you don't have to take medicine.
Because here's the thing. I think, and I can be wrong, but I think sometimes that being said, as far as the, oh, well, this, because multiple partners, it's like, it's kind of almost this controlling part to say, you know what, well, when you're with them, you wrap it up and, whatever, or with me, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
However, the thing is that dealing with that's kind of not your call with someone else's sex life, as I should say. But what you can do is talk to your husband about about your concerns. But the thing is definitely taking care of your health, or your yoni health.
Yeah.
Your I forgot what Oprah used to call it. I forgot what it was called.
Her.
She says
It
wasn't the kitty. It was a cute little name.
My
for
grandma
it.
used to say pocketbook.
The pocketbook. So. But you want to make sure. But that's a serious. It's not talked about.
No, it's not. We know.
So even with us, so any information. But because like you said, with the studying women's health and natural type of things, that is not. It's the crazy thing is really not uncommon.
It's not. I'm telling you.
Period for women. Yeah. Like it's not a sexually transmitted disease.
Right. It's not. And you have to be careful about the conversation you do have with your husband and your tone in which you're having it, because you don't want to come off as accusatory and calling somebody something that would devalue them or accusing them of not being clean, possibly.
Right.
And we don't know anybody's heart, but I'm sure that's not anyone's intention. But if you do have a conversation with him, which would be great, be careful at how you kind of approach him, because you don't want to come up as sounding like,
it could come from soaps.
It could be soaps. It could be your sheets. It could be not airing her out.
It could come from stress.
It
could come from
diet.
I mean, don't just
because doctors
the doctors could say that, but the doctors probably could say that if you were one that actually put it in their heads that you are,
they're gonna fire back.
So they'll fire back on some of these
well,
things.
then that's what it is.
That's
your
what
husband is having multiple.
I've had that before with the doctor. Like if I would say a particular thing, like when I was diagnosed with migraines, when I put that out there. Whatever headache I had or anything that was going on in my head, it was a migraine. It was a migraine. I know what my head feels. I know what a migraine feels like. I had it for years.
But what if it was like a juicy tumor or something like that? Yeah. You don't know, because they start off as migraines too.
Do the other stuff. So my thing is, if you put certain things out there,
careful.
You got to be careful with it, because they're the doctors and everything like that. So people kind of look at it like, oh, well, they went to school for this and all this other stuff.
That's like saying a police officer is an attorney. They don't know all the laws. So
you got to be careful with that. And just take care of your your reproductive health, but make sure you have that conversation if it's because it is a concern, but make sure you are careful with how you start the conversation, or how you segue.
You can't be like, oh, you're dirty wives and you gave me woo and lie, and you can't, it's different ways to approach your husband. Because you want to know what's the best course for everyone,
for everybody involved,
without getting in everyone's marriage and business.
Indeed.
I see why you didn't want to read that.
It's to the wives. I'm saying,
even if you read it,
you know what my answer is? I don't know nothing about it. Find more about BV. So that's probably what it's called. Yeah. BV. Find out more about it. Say yourself, talk with your husband.
Yeah. And look at alternatives to different meds to drugs.
Another sister says.
Okay. Oh, right here. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I am a widow at 36. I might possibly fall into a polygyny setting. Need your guide, please. Well, that's kind of. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Stuff like that.
So
basically, we have dozens of hours
our
of content right here. I mean, on YouTube, Facebook,
Instagram.
If you want to go deeper and see our stores or our relationship mastery inner circle course, where you get a free consultation, you go to outstandingpersonrelationships.com/store. Okay, you get on our email list. You check out our blog. And, keep talking.
And may I say, may Allah grant you ease. I can't imagine what that must feel like, but may Allah grant you ease.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of material out there. Just definitely make sure hours,
days.
Just check us out. If you have any questions, something that you may like to see on a video or program or anything like that, definitely connect with us. Support at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com.
Next one. Assalamu alaikum, walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. This is an email. I was interested in getting help with regards to monogamous/polygynous marriage, but I am not sure if the service is what I need. So you offer initial assessments. If not, would you be willing to speak briefly about the issue and see if any of your packages would be suitable? Jazakallah khair.
Initial consultations.
We don't do initial consultations. Okay. And here's the reason why. We just said it. We have dozens of hours of content and information available, and you know your situation better than us. So we do offer personal coaching. We have an initial complimentary coaching session for all of our relationship mastery inner circle members. We have a relationship mastery inner circle course where we go live for our members with our worksheets and deep assessments and everything else. And they have closer access to us. The reason we don't do free initial assessments is because everyone loves free 99 and is not respectful of our time and really what we do. So we already know the transformative process that we've been, we're honored to be able to help people do that. We know what we've been through. We know our value. So with that being said, dozens of hours on YouTube and social media. So it's highly likely you'll be able to come across good information that can benefit you from there. But if you want to go deeper, then maybe you want to look at how much it costs to fill up your gas tank, because that's pretty much what our real estate. What's
happening? Are you selling the house?
Our relationship mastery inner circle course costs filling up your vehicle twice. So look at it. Look at our store, outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/store. See if something there makes sense to you, and pretty much go from there. Otherwise, again, we can answer questions and so on a small scale like we're doing now. But free 99, and it's not free sabilillah. You do a lot. Fi sabilillah, yes, alhamdulillah, that's great. But at the same time, we have to continue pushing and growing and going deeper and changing the mentality that just because you choose not to move forward on something, to blame it on other people. Right. Meaning it doesn't matter. You don't need actually any advice from us. You don't. You can help get a shortcut and tap into our thousands of hours of study and seminars, tens of thousands of dollars on self-education and so on. Just like when you go to a school and you pay tuition to a professor or to the school that has a curriculum and everything else, similar to what we do. Right. Now, you can go and learn, you can go invest, you can read the books, you can watch videos, you can go to seminars, you can get your coaching, you can do all of this stuff. It will take you longer, and that's fine. It's a process. Right. You just determine what process is best for you. Exactly. So prayerfully to answer the question, but I need to speak there because no, we don't do the free initial assessments or anything like that. We're well established now in our coaching and what we've been doing even prior to outstanding personal relationships. We've been teaching and training. I've been doing that 20 years now. So thank you for inquiring. But go ahead and decide and look at yourself a little bit more and decide and really figure out what you need. You can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we want to give a shout out to this sister, too. Mrs. Hendricks. This is the long one. Now, this has been really, really proactive. So I do want to give shout outs to other people who are supporting brothers and sisters and so on right now, publicly, while we're here. But I don't know if y'all want to read part of it or not, but definitely shout out to sister. She's been proactive and been right at it. What we just got done saying.
That is so good. So good.
Tyrenda Hendricks, I have to shout you out because you have been proactive, and your email was beautiful.
Basically, sister took action. She's been watching our videos, using it as a course, investigating herself, ordered some of the books that we suggested, reading them, listening to audiobooks during her workouts.
Yes, I work.
And working on a relationship with a
Right.
co-wife, just really
That's awesome.
doing good stuff
That is awesome.
on the information that we provided for free that's been benefiting her. So, it had taken us too long to just respond email wise.
Yeah.
We wanted to really shout it out because we do read all the emails and
We do.
different compliments and things that come in and critiques as well.
Yeah.
We appreciate those who are sincere. Those who are not, they can kick rocks. But it's just it's heartwarming to get these different things and to get dua from all across the world.
Yes, it is.
For
mind
and
blowing.
we won't even know maybe until the day that it matters most on someone's dua that may weigh heavy on our scale. So
Yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.
All right, let's check the different channels here.
IG, do we have?
That's too far. It's hard to look over.
I don't see questions on that screen.
Yours
Look
not
at
on
us.
Facebook.
That's all I got on Facebook. Got on Facebook.
Cool.
Okay, I think that might.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
Thank
barakatuh.
you.
Lori from
Okay.
Atlanta. Yeah,
Salam
let's give
rahmatullah.
I don't know. I've noticed that as well.
Remember, comment, like, share, subscribe, and join our email list. And hit the notification bell too.
Yeah,
so
we
you
good. We
can,
can wrap up.
you can get
So-
all those.
Okay, so here's the deal, guys. For our inner circle, our relationship mastery inner circle members, your monthly live is coming up. It's
Yes.
coming up, so make sure.
And we're excited.
Next week,
We're really
super
excited to
excited about
see
it,
you guys
and we're gonna be
again.
talking about love. This is the
Yes.
month we're talking about that. So, if you guys aren't part of the relationship mastery inner circle, make sure you take
Yeah,
your
do that.
butts over there to outstandingpersonalrelationships.com/store. Sign up because they get exclusive information. They get exclusive trainings.
Right.
And worksheets and all that other good stuff. And we are just loving the responses that we're getting from our inner circle members. So next week, guys, that's when the live is for you.
Yes. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Wa barakatuh.
Wasila.
Let's
We don't know where you're
Wasila
from,
Muhammad.
Wasila, but definitely give
And
salam.
Glory.
Yes. All right. Until next week, guys, or until our next live, because we're gonna be popping up on your feeds. With all that
We'll
other
see
good
you before
stuff.
next weekend,
So
inshallah.
what?
Aisha.
Aisha, how can you send an email? Send it at support@outstandingpersonalrelationships.com.
Right.
Support@outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. And Courtney, walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All right. So, like I said, until next week or until we pop up on your feed, because you'll see us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button, and make sure you
share because
sharing is caring. And until next time, salam alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Alhamdulillah. Yes. No, I didn't know IG.